What do you think of when you hear fine Italian craftsmanship? You might be thinking about Italian cars, such as the Ferrari. Well, the thing I'm reviewing could be considered the Ferrari of the boot world. That boot is none other than the Sportiva G5 EVO, a boot that is more than happy to show you its heritage Italian craftsmanship without compromising on a modern flair. The name EVO implies that this is an evolution of a previous existing boot. And by no surprise, that was the G5, a boot that was highly regarded as one of the best climbing boots on the market. The design of this boot is just a continuation of the previous generation, with updated materials. For instance, the built-in gaiter for this new generation was an overhaul on robustness. The new gaiter has La Sportiva's ultrasonic welded technology, with Cordura stretch fabric. What this means is that it's abrasion resistant and pretty waterproof, a problem that the last generation had to deal with. But that's not the only update in design. Whereas the older generation was sporting a rubber rand, the G5 EVO instead goes for TPU, an arguably more rugged material. Most of these things are just an aesthetic change, and the term EVO requires more than just an aesthetic change, and they did just that. A redesigned area for this boot is the insulation. As most boots simply go with an actual insulation such as a Primaloft lining, La Sportiva went with a different approach. They went with a Gore-Tex Infinium liner. This liner is proven to have the same warmth as the traditional methods, yet it weighs far less. And when talking about weight, they also decided to put this liner only in the foot box of the boot. And this makes sense, as most times when your feet get cold, it's often in your toes and not in your heels. And in my testing, my feet never got cold from the lack of insulation in my heels. Now there is one more change to the boot, and it's an obvious one. The BOA dial is now on the outside of the boot for added convenience. So what are my thoughts on the boots? Well, this season I've climbed exclusively in the G5 EVOs, and within that time I've definitely gathered some thoughts. For starters, the BOA dial is incredibly convenient. The ability to tighten on the fly gives more security and faith in the boot. You also don't have to deal with the process of unlacing your boots at the end of the day. Simply pull the dial outwards and your feet will experience sweet relief. But as much praise as the BOA system gets, it's not without its flaws. When I've been using these boots, I have found that after 30 minutes of tightening the boots up, they just loosen up, and I have to tighten them right back up. I don't know if this is a problem with BOA or if this is a problem with the boot's construction. Regardless, this is a problem. There is another problem with the BOA dial that I have found, and that would be the issue of over-tightening your boots. When I said that my feet haven't been cold in these boots, that's not all true. I've found that when I tighten my boot a little too much, it can lead to pain down the road. When I was in Highlight this year, I had really cranked down the dial so that my feet felt secure. And well, let's just say it was a rude awakening to find out that it was possible to get the screaming barfies in your toes. It's hard to find a happy medium with these boots. Whereas with traditional lace-up boots, you can really customize the fit. But you don't have the security that the BOA dial gives you. I'd say that La Sportiva has done a really great job into continuing the legacy of the G5 boot. And with these additions, they have arguably made the G5 EVO a better climbing boot. And you'd better hope so with an $800 price tag.